And then we get up here, because we're on top, we're gonna get more volume, we're gonna go like this. Right? And then we let it go down. Do you think that's gonna give her the ultimate volume? No. I'm gonna give you something else. What's gonna happen? It's wet, right? So when you're doing all this, you can hear those pieces of hair going pop, 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 pop on the floor, right? She's like deer in a headlight. Like, oh my God, there's a lot of hair going on, right? She has no idea what she's gonna end up with. Does that make sense? Where I'm gonna try to work smarter, not harder, okay? So I blow her out, finish her in the chair. Now you have to do that consultation. Can't get out around that. How do you wear your hair? Do you wear your face? I curl it, I do what, you know? I wear it straight, flat. Then what you do is then I try to work right in the beginning, taking out the front hairline. Can anybody tell me why? That's what she sees first. That's great. Can anybody tell me something else? You're on the right track.
It's the hairline.
Say again?
It'll give her a change of look without taking out the length of the back.
Yes, you could like do something here without freaking her in the back. Okay? So, but also 99% of the time, look at your neighbor. She already has a bang or some kind of layer. Like, just look around. Everybody's got something going on, right? So she's already seeing that. So we might have to alter that, right? So now, I'm going to then take it a little bit further. I'm gonna work smarter, not harder, right? So look, I'm working off a center part, and I'm gonna take it just below the crown on another diagonal, back to the ear. So, can you see this? I have a V, right? A V shape. Okay, so I'm gonna clip this. Why? Say, why, Daniel?
Why, Daniel?
Because I'm gonna tell you guys something. And Siobhan, can you give me like all my combs that I brought with me just so I can show that? Look, 99% of the time she has something going on here, right? This is flat. You guys hear me?
Yes.
This is flat, right? This here is flat, right? So this gives us length. Oh, really? Okay, thanks. So this does nothing but what?
Length.
Length. So when we do this,
Takes
cut
the
it,
length.
we what?
Take away the
Takes
length.
it away.
Take away length. Okay? This was never gonna give us volume up here. So why do we cut it? Right? When we cut, the reason why we cut it, we clean it up so that it's got better, strength down here, or cut off all the dead ends or the split ends. Does that make sense, guys? This, the reason why I've isolated it, guys, because it's on the side of the head and it's rounded. Because hair that lives on round moves up for volume, down for sleekness. It goes forward, it goes backwards, and it goes side to side for parts. Okay? So this is where the magic happens. Anywhere that is round, it moves. So look, now I'm going to take my next round shape. And what's the most rounded part of the head? Can anybody tell me? The crown? Perfect. And then there's one more area. Sometimes they're flat back there. It's like somebody hit me in the back with a frying pan or something, right? Right? So, but most of the time it's round, right? So I'm just going to make sure that I'm down the center here. I want to join everybody to the party. All right, so look, this is a half triangle that I'm doing. So I'm starting here, and the reason why I'm starting just a little bit above this point is because I'm trying to stay in the parietal ridge. Because if I go any lower, this is flat, right? So I want to be in the round. So I want to go down into a point. So if you vision this, this is one big crown or triangle in the back. I'm going to divide it in half so that I could tackle each section. So look, this hair that I've isolated moves. It's where all the action happens. This hair that's down here does not move. And it's her what? It's her crying zone. You cut it, she's gonna cry.
Yeah.
So leave it alone, right? Because it does nothing. Zero, but lays there. Are you guys following me?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna do my other in real time. If you guys have any questions at this point, it's great to ask so that I could answer it while I'm doing the other side, okay? Don't be shy. It could be also about the color. Okay, no questions? Wow. Okay, so I keep talking. Don't let me have to talk up here, guys. This is where it's a safe room. You know? No questions is silly.
Is your hair color natural?
Is my hair color natural? What do you guys think? Somewhat?
Partial.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're coming out with some new color lines, color shades from Tonal Control that'll give you the silver if you want it. Silver Daddy, that's what they call me. Am I lying, Karina? Okay, that's what I'm saying. I didn't give him my name. Some girl told me at a show. She asked the question, and she was like, "Thank you, Silver Daddy." And I was like, my goodness. Sorry. See, we're waking up, right?
Yeah.
All right. Look, so I'm finally got my 3 triangles here. And this is gonna go fairly quickly, guys. So, but I can guarantee you could take this back to the salon. All right. So I'm gonna start here first because we want her to see, we want her to look like she's got something going on, right? Again, 90% of the time, I could get my long hair clients doing this little bit in the front that I'm gonna show you and be done with it. And guess what? Same price, out the door, right? Because I took the time to style her and cut this new movement in her face, right? So I'm gonna go here, and I'm going to use, and then guys, I've been done, this is like, I'm gonna say, why did I say guy again? Ladies and gentlemen. I've done so many shows, I put my combs out, but normally I have different size of comb depending on the length that I want to cut this. Usually like this is an 8-inch, right? So I keep this as a standard size comb for her to give me great movement around the face. If she had longer hair, then I go with the longer comb to use that. The reason why I'm using it is because this is not gonna lie when I go check it, versus me going like this. Okay, you know? This, I now have a ruler, this is gonna be the length that I cut her. And every time she comes in, it'll be the same. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm gonna cut it, use this, and look at the angle that this is gonna be cut at. I'm not making up the angle, right? So I'm using her forehead to give me the natural movement, okay, with my comb. So now I got my haircut. I feel like somebody's hanging on, so I gotta join him to the party for her. All right, so now, look, everything, this is my movement, and look, already, since I styled it, look what's happening.
Yeah.
It's already styling out for me, okay? She's all like,
Ooh.
what's happening? I've never seen that happen after a cut, right? So now I'm standing on this side, guys, because I want the guy to be in front of me. right? So the guide is in front of me. So I'm not guessing, right? So I could see where my guide is and I could cut it. We're designed to work like this. On the opposite side. And I'm taking my hair like this. And this is how we stand in the salon. Look, my guide's on the opposite side. We throw our hip like this, thinking this is going to be better for us to cut. But which way my body's going? That way. When I'm trying to over-direct and maintain length, right? So if you stand on the opposite side, and then this is what we do when we see the guide and we're all like this. Okay. Okay. We cut it, but now I'm sweating because I'm not sure. She's gonna be like mad if this goes short, right? So I'm all like checking it again and again, and this is where we lose time. When you can step on the other side and look, and even if I throw my hips, look at where this hair is coming from.
Yeah.
It's coming all the way over here, and I'm maintaining what?
Length.
Okay? So we want to pull this straight up. Find the way you're holding your comb or the angle. And look, the same hair that's holding, the finger that's holding the hair to cut, I put my comb along that finger to tell me this is the angle I want to cut. Okay? So it's keeping me on point. Guys, I'm going to tell, or ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be well worth it, because this is where I love doing it to my clients or my guests, and they have a huge reaction. Then they relax. They're not deer in the headlights, the whole time. So look, I'm going to go with my angle, and you can see it. I'm over-directing all that, right? And this is just in front of that front hairline, right? Then I'm going to drop it. She's going to be like, it's all that hair floating to the ground, but then when I go like this, the hair is already falling in place, in style. Do you see that? And you can do it short or longer. So now I'm already winning. She's all like, when you see that lip moving back and forth, you're like, okay, I'm on the right track. Can she see this when her hair is wet?
No.
Never. Right? So I'm going to step on the opposite side because I want to see the guide that I'm using. Is this useful, you guys?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all I want that you guys to take. It's not about how much hair you cut off. It's what you leave behind, right? That's how I look at it. You don't have to cut a lot of hair to make a big change, right? But if you know what hair you're taking off, it's huge, right? And why? Why are we doing it, right? So why am I doing this? Dragging this all on the side of her head and bringing it to the center, because when it goes back and it follows the red round of the head, it's going to cascade the same way, okay? Any question right now?
Which combs are you using?
Which combs I'm using? I use Wyeth's Park combs. They're like really sturdy combs. But can you see the size of the comb that I'm using?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is important because we don't want to use a comb like this. You can possibly get away with using this side of it, but the reason why is that the hair is dry, and we're squeezing all dry hair through this hair, and when it's dry, it's going to give you friction, and what's friction is going to cause? Frizz, right? So, now, for this to work, you have to use your styling aids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not styled correctly, right, it's not going to support your style. McKenna, can you come up here quick? She's just going to walk, which is so you can see her. But look, we styled her in the morning and we cut her, right? But look, it's supporting all day. the shape, right? And this is the shape that we're creating, right? So it was all style. This is where, over there, didn't curl it correctly, but we'll get on her after the show, okay? I didn't put too much mousse on it, but this is what happens when you don't have enough mousse. But this is when you have mousse. Does that make sense? So set it, style it, so that you have end result, and she's gonna be beautiful all day long, telling everybody who did my hair. Does that make sense? Because that's what you want to create. Savon, you're in trouble when I get back. There you go. So this is the styling smooth setter, okay? All right, look, so now you see what's going on, guys? Already we got beautiful going on, right? Didn't take the 15 minutes blow dry. And then you cut it, that's a little bit, you can send her out the door. Now we're gonna finish going with the top part here. And then we have tonal control. I'm working with you guys. You guys throwing slides up, I'm gonna be like moving to the side, moving to this way. I can do it. All right, so here we go. Look, I put a clip here because I don't want to pick up what?
Legs.
Right. So anybody can tell me why this isn't a point?
Because the shape of the head's round above that. The rest of it's flat.
Round, right.
Yeah.
The top part is round, right?
Right.
So we're with the
Remove
roundness
it.
of that, right?
Yeah.
And then the thing is it's in a point because I want the layers sitting on top and then starts to disappear when you go into the length. So you don't have a line of what?
Demarcation.
All right. Does that make, that's good, right? So that's what we want, right? The reason why we want that as well is because we don't want to create, when we do the layering, the normal layering, we create a triangle. We don't want that heaviness sitting right here. Okay, we want it to create it on top. So here we're going to create some movement. I'm going to divide and conquer there. And look, I like showing this haircut, like just straight how it is, because you get a really good effect when you do it. But you could change the angle of this, right? You could go from short to long going out, okay? I like to just do it straight across because it's gonna give me most of my maximum volume, right? So I'm gonna go straight across, and look, where am I standing? On the opposite side, because I could now create my guide, and now I'm gonna take my section. And where's my guide? In front of me. Also, I could see my center section, right? My center parting. I know where to bring it up and stop, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. Thank you, ladies, for stopping in.
I actually have your haircut.
Oh, you
We went to
do?
another class.
Johnson City. Oh, yes, yes, okay. Thank you.
Very good class.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, it works, okay? I didn't pay the lady. Okay? Okay, so I'm bringing it all up. Now I'm staying in right on the opposite side. And the thing is that the reason why I could stop here, and it's, we want to be even on both sides. So the thing is that I was standing here and I was combing this way, I could overpass the center, right? And then I could be uneven on both sides. Because you know, when we get into the salon, you're like, Judy, John didn't take out the garbage. And you could, well, you better tell Judy the same thing on the other side so you could be even, okay? So look, take out my clip. Now she's becoming sassier, right? And just this little triangle, just a little triangle, right? So it's not like a lot of work. I'm not picking up 10 million sections and walking around the head. I just did one straight line, okay? Now, you can be as creative as you want, but the thing is that my object is, I want this hair to appear longer, right? So I take out the corner here, Because if once I put a corner here, it shrinks this up. But now this is flat. Can you see how flat that is? So now this is gonna appear longer because I gave it fullness up here. So what I'm doing is literally taking the head and going like this, stretching it. Okay? So I'm gonna do the opposite side. Put this below that. Yes, question. Curly hair, great question. Actually, believe it or not, Matrix keeps us working. Tomorrow in the middle of my main stage show, I'm gonna do a Zoom here for another group of people, and I'm gonna do it on super curly hair, the same haircut, okay? So what it does, it gives the volume up here, but since you have that point, you're keeping this heavy here, okay? And curly hair never grows, right? Because we keep layering it, right? And it shrinks. But keeping the weight there and leaving it long, it's gonna weigh down eventually and it's gonna look longer with her volume up here. Does that make sense? Yes. It'll change the whole dynamic of the hair. It'll look more square and look longer, okay? You can do it on straight. If I was to do it on super straight hair, I wouldn't be as blunt, right? I would go this way with it. Cut it, my length, and then soften the line. So it's softer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We don't want to have a really blunt line. Any other questions?
So let's say that this person doesn't style their hair the same every day, and they want it to look good when it's styled and when it's not. Is it going to? Because if you're styling it if you style it before you cut it, then I guess you get my question.
Yeah.
Will it still look good? Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Is it still look good, girl?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? The thing is, that's a great question because the thing is like, for me, cutting on this mannequin head, she's not gonna complain. She's gonna love it, right? And the thing is that what I'm trying to teach you guys is where I'm putting the cut at. Where's the volume at? Now, if she's, your client, I would cut according to, right? So like if she had thick hair, I'm definitely gonna soften those ends so that she's cut, right? I might even take out, cause like I'm only cookie cutting, guys, right? But I haven't cut anything in here, right? Which will change the whole dynamic of the hair. So you gotta do that extra step. You gotta personalize it so that make sure that your client is liking her haircut, right?
Daniel, would you cross-check this cut? How do you recommend they cross-check since they're
Awesome, yeah.
cutting post-style?
So if you cross-check it if we're cutting it this way, which way we're gonna cross-check, right? We're gonna do the opposite, right? So when you do it opposite, that's a great question, it's gonna go from short to long because we over-direct it this way. So make sure that you're still maintaining that length that you need here, right? Okay, so that's how you cross-check. The thing is that also, it's gonna be laid like a shag, when it's not styled, right? So it's just gonna be a nice shaggy hair cut. I like it to have texture and movement like this because it looks
Pretty.
Sexier,
Yeah.
But that's a great question. Now, if she likes her hair, the thing is, I'm doing it dramatic at this length. If you want her, she loves her long hair and she wants her long hair, make sure you just adjust to the length. Cut it longer, okay? Is that good? Do you guys get the feedback that you need?
I
Yeah?
did, thank you.
Sure. So now look, I like to divide and conquer this. So I'm gonna split this. I took the whole thing down, but I divide and do one side first, right? And look, my body is shift again, because I want to be in front of my guide. So instead of me working this way, right? And cutting, where's my guide? It's on the other side. So I want to shift this way. And this is perfect because you can't see her expression on her face when you cut this big chunk off. And guess what, guys? Dry hair flows to the ground. No noise. Right? And then you go like this. So she doesn't see it, right? But I'm over directing. And that's why the Lord gave us hips and elbows. Because everybody's always like, are you standing in front of her? And I'm like, no, she's sitting down. So I'm going to be leaning over this way, like this. Okay? And look, just that initial cut is going to be crucial because it's going to give you the volume that you need up here. But the rest of it starts to like, you're just cleaning it up, right? If she has longer hair, length. All right, so we're getting to the finish, guys. And this is, look, it's just connecting the dots. No, like, I'm not sweating, you know? I'm not going, another section, you know? It's super easy, right? I like cutting my long hair clients because it's easy. It's easy work because now she's styled. Look, can you see that? I'm gonna turn you sideways so you can see what I'm saying when it's square.
Yeah.
Can you see that? It's square. So look, the volume is sitting on top. This is starting to look longer, right? Which is great, you know? And that's what all our long hair clients want, is to end up with long hair. Now, here's a couple of things that I'll share with you guys. How many minutes I have left? Because I don't want to run over. Because I'm boring you guys, and I don't want you guys to like feel like I'm taking any more minutes of your time.
Yes.
All right. So look, this is how you connect the dots, right? So look, I'm gonna, same triangle that I had here, I'm gonna lift and see where my hair is starting to like leave from the head. I want to blend that, right? Fuse that together. I don't want to cut it, but I want to take off all those split ends that she's trying to hang on to, you know, off, right? So look, I'm parallel, and like, I'm just peeling the top layer, like I'm peeling off an orange or an apple, just that top layer. So now look, now it's smooth, and it doesn't look like it's like split ends. Now for you, the control freaks, you can go ahead and like clean it up that way as well, right? Just once you do that, because you get the little pieces of hair. In the back, do the same thing. Triangle, okay? Look. Okay, ooh, we got a time clock. Wow. And I'm just gonna peel that off, like so, again. And the reason why I pinch it is because I wanna bring all the hair together, and when I do that, it goes back to where it lives. Right? And it doesn't leave a line for me, okay? And then here, same thing. Just gonna surface plane this. And then I just cut what needs to be cut. Oh, a clip. Now, you guys can't do this to your clients, or maybe, but you flip her over, okay? And what I'm trying to create is a square. Can you see it? It's a square. So who'd have thought a square shape
Yeah, that's all.
on a round shape will give you this much
Yeah.
volume? Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. So, let me do one more thing for you. And this is just like, remember, for the one person that asked me, like, you know, how does it look afterwards? This is really heavy, right? So we need to lighten that up. So now this is where you can go in and do your personal, your touches, right? A lot of people like to use blending shears to like soften that up. I like to do like a weaving technique with my scissors. I kind of weave it, point the scissors down, and cut short to long, okay? And the reason why I can see now the movement that I'm creating, okay? With the blending shears, you just kind of cut, right? And you're kind of like, okay, it looks good. We'll take a little bit more. Where I know, like, I'm controlling it. I say control freaks, but that's me. I need to be controlled about every movement that the sheet ends up with, right? So that will lighten it up and try to help this support this going this way, right? But I'll use the, did I bring my blending shears? I just say, because people, when I feel like when I bring something up, people are like, well, can you or can't you? And I kind of show them that you can, right? So now I'm doing the extra cutting into it, you know, to give it like that softness to it. So this is more personalizing, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and do it. This is the opposite. You kind of do an X, and then you weave, and then you cut down, okay? So that you can do the opposite side. And then I'm gonna style it out for you, and then I'm gonna show you guys a way that, and if you guys probably saw me, do you guys see me on the Salon Centric stage?
Mm-mm.
Where I do hair yoga? You guys know about hair yoga? Anybody?
No.
I call it hair yoga. Is when you're styling your beautiful model or your gas or Judy at the salon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she has long hair. And if you like with other stylists, that doesn't work, because this is worked when I was working in New York with 15 other hairdressers on the cutting side. And then we had 20 on the color side. So there was a huge salon, right? But I wanted to stand out. So what I would do, I would stand my guest up, and I would style her hair, because look, I have total freedom with her hair tilted like this off her head, right? And the thing is that I'm gonna use our Fixer hairspray. And the thing is that I like to spray hair to support it, because we want the hair to go where? Up, right? So I'm spraying it to go up. Versus when she's sitting in our chair, we're spraying it what?
Down, yeah.
Down, right? Or right at it.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is support this to go the direction that I want it to go into. So I say go lean this way, and then I tell her to lean that way. So now people in the salon are like, what's going on over there? Why is she standing up, right? They're like, why I don't get to stand up? And they're like, your hair's too short. Sit back down, you know? You know? But your long hair and the the matrix color that you just put on her, looking fab, right? They're like, oh my God, look at her hair. Look how full it's looking, right? They're like, by the time you're done, they were like, ooh, I need a bottle of that stuff that he was using. And it's just the way you used it, right? Because you had her stand up and you're using gravity to like make it work for you. Okay? So look at the layers, right? Can you see that? So now I spray into it because I want that volume. It's all about working smarter, not harder. And then I learned from a 16-year-old girl, he's like, you go in and out, okay? You see? You never stop learning. Even a 16-year-old can teach you something. What do you guys think? Yeah? I would just like, just also like use our pomade once in a while to like, just to get those ends to kind of look nice towards the end. And I just kind of do a little bit of like palming it, because all you want is to make everything go the same direction, right? So that's what I do when it's all finished, to give it that finished polish.
Are you on Instagram?
Yes, I am on Instagram. Do we have a slide with Instagram?
We sure do.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
we're all about it. That's me.
Okay. Okay.
Finer hair? Oh, it's beautiful. Because you're now like trying to maintain that thickness at the bottom, and you're only focusing on the round of the heads. That's gonna give her volume, okay? Thick hair, just point cut. Use some of your thinning shears to make it soft and sassy, right? It'll work all the time. Any question? Other questions?